Hello and welcome back to the Vinyl Brotherhood, where we like to kick back, take it easy, and just chat about music, whether it be the latest and greatest new releases or old favorites from years gone by. And today we will be looking at an old favorite, 2009's Daisy by the incredible band Brand New. They are an acclaimed and cherished group, and even though they are no longer brand new, actually they're no longer with us, it's still fun to look back on some of the old classics that they left behind, and we're going to do just that. So get comfortable and we'll get started momentarily. Thanks for joining us again, folks. We've got a great review in store for you today. We're revisiting an album and a band that occupy a very special place in my heart, and that is Brand New. I was listening to them a ton during my college years. Man, they were very much the right band at the right time for me back then. And obviously, I continue to appreciate their output to this day. They were a highly revered and celebrated group when they were around, and it's no surprise. Everything they released was top-notch, Daisy being no exception to the rule. Actually, if there's any brand new album that splits a fan base down the middle, it's probably this one, which makes it a solid candidate for a review here at the Vinyl Brotherhood. We're going to dissect this work, figure out its strengths and weaknesses, etc., and see how we feel about it 13 years after its release. No more messing around. Let's take this LP over to the record player and give it a spin. Let's start things off with the artwork. Daisy by Brand New. A little cryptic, a little spooky, a little woodsy. I feel like it captures the sound of the album quite well, actually. We have a gatefold, so some photography on the inside. You can see that. Not a lot going on the back other than some silhouettes and the track listing. Let's talk about Daisy, but we should probably start with a little something about the band first. Brand New exited the music industry in late 2017, rather unceremoniously, surrounded by controversy. It was a sad and shocking affair, and if it's not in poor taste to say so, I feel like it was strangely appropriate considering how this band seems to specialize in sad and shocking. It was unfortunate, it was premature, but at the end of the day, we still have a string of near-perfect records to contend with, including this, the fourth of their 5 albums. Daisy represents the band pushing their sound further than ever before. Any semblance of their emo punk pop roots is kept at an absolute minimum, if it's there at all. It's an interesting thing to follow their progression of their discography as they drift from college-age drama and relationships to Jesse Lacey wrestling with God and trying to wrap his mind around the atrocities that seem all too normal to the human experience. The music reflects this as well. The band has never sounded noisier or more unbridled and visceral than they do on Daisy. All of the tension, uncertainty, and frustration expressed in the words of Jesse Lacey and Vince Accardi translate perfectly to the album's writing and production choices. They do make some creative choices that would undoubtedly question some of their audience, but boy do they commit to them. For starters, the album is bookended by what sounds like a century-old recording of a lady singing a hymn titled On Life's Highway, along with some piano accompaniment. We get at least a whole minute of this before Brand New shows up fashionably late, launching us into complete chaos with Vices. They spend no time introducing some of the album's stylistic hallmarks, such as visceral screams, erratic guitar work, some fuzzed out and droning bass, and some energetic drum playing. The guys are fully committed to the performance, and they do a fantastic job of playing loose without sounding lazy or sloppy. They're very strategic in how they present the new songs with a much more raw and underproduced sound. Brand New is going after a specific feel here, and I think they largely succeed. They're not afraid to let the mics max out or allow the amps to buzz in the background. You'll notice a lot of those crazy details are creating a certain atmosphere or conveying the message of the lyrics. Here's another interesting example. Vince Accardi provides the vocal on Be Gone. It was a bold choice, but the whole thing is heavily distorted and cuts in and out so as to be completely indecipherable or incomprehensible. I'm sure that could be frustrating to some, but to a non-lyrics guy like myself, I welcome the creativity. We can let the music do the talking. But on the meat and potatoes side of things, the guitar riffs on the record don't slouch. Be it the violent wails of the lead guitar on Gasoline or the dense wall of noise at the end of Noro, everything feels on point. How could anyone not have an emotional response to the last moments of Noro? Such an excellent finale. Now, I hesitate to say so, but I think I'm detecting some slight southern or deep folk influences on several of these tracks. We get some slidey guitar work here and there, and some southern rock riffage on songs like Sink and In a Jar that I find incredibly amusing. You'll never mistake Daisy for a folk record by any means, but adding those elements of the palette really set this album apart, especially when it's used so uncharacteristically like on the album's heavier tracks. On the other end of the sonic spectrum, we get songs like Bed and You Stole, which are much more subdued and laid back, but no less eerie and cryptic, with decidedly clean and twangy guitar tones. And Jesse's versatility as a vocalist is quite incredible, as these songs will demonstrate. He delivers something a little quieter and barely anything more than a whisper. And when you contrast that with the blood-curdling screams and wailing heard elsewhere, backed by Vince Accardi, who's contributing a little more this time around. I can say that word, I promise. Indeed, this record can be quite frenetic, but it's the more somber moments that are no less special. Actually, they can be deeply moving, such as on the title track. Amidst the religious imagery and the esoteric contemplating, we've got an album's worth of tragic confessions, the voicings of questions and doubts. The lyrics come across as poetic without being pretentious. That's more or less what we're used to from Brand New. There's a certain level of rawness and vulnerability that comes with the territory with these guys, which of course is a good part of why they've been so cherished. In a way, we were all following along with Jesse's story arc over the years, album after album. Daisy takes us further down the path with the guys as they wrestle with anxieties, faith, themselves, and whatnot. We find ourselves in a pretty dark place on this record, arguably more so than on 2006, The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. It's a weighty entry, it sticks with you long after it's over, but it also keeps you coming back. Daisy's got hooks galore, the presentation is intriguing, and it feels very cohesive and complete. I see it almost as a document of sorts, like a comprehensive analysis or a snapshot of an especially bleak season of life. If you're familiar with the Brand New story, you know it doesn't get much better from here, but that's cool because Daisy works phenomenally well as a standalone record. They don't revisit these exact stylings on the follow-up Science Fiction, and without some of the trappings of mid-2000s emo that their older work had, it has a timelessness about it. So if you haven't yet, give Daisy a spin. I will say it's not the best representation of classic trademark Brand New, but with that in mind, I think it's just an objectively solid and memorable experience. I always come away from this one thinking it's better than I remembered. So if that's not a ringing endorsement, then I don't know what is. Okay, let's head on back and I will close us out. I can say with full certainty that Daisy is actually the Brand New album that I've given the most front to back listens to. Maybe it doesn't have the band's best or most recognizable songs on it, but it works so well as a singular, cohesive piece. I don't think they've sounded this original before either. You aren't going to confuse Brand New with anyone else on this album. It's really solid. There isn't a whole lot like it. Today we're scoring this record a 9 out of 10. I'm giving it a glowing recommendation. It may not be everyone's favorite Brand New record, but it's certainly not one you want to sleep on. It's intense, it's thought-provoking, and if you're feeling particularly emo today or just need to brood for 40 minutes, you can't go wrong here. And that's Daisy. You know, it really is a shame that they went out the way they did. I'm just kind of glad I was able to see them live before the crap storm hit. But at the end of the day, their body of work isn't going away anytime soon. They remain a deeply relatable and influential group to many, myself included. But what say you all on this? I know Daisy's a little more of a divisive record among many. Where does this fall in their discography for you? Let us know down below in the comments section, and be sure to hit the like and subscribe on your way down. You all have been so great. We truly appreciate your time. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Next time you see us, we'll be reviewing a Christmas record, so you can go ahead and anticipate that. Take it easy, folks. We'll see you next time right here at the Vinyl Brotherhood.